Hi, good afternoon. It is Chris Chun. It is your This Week in Real Estate. And I just kind of want to address what's going on in the marketplace, what's going on with the economy, what's going on with the potential recession, and all of that, and how it affects real estate long term. Because the reality is, I know that it seems like this is the craziest time ever. However, we have seen in the past 40, 50 years, this repeat itself over and over and over again. Starting in the 70s, we had hyperinflation at the end of the 70s and the transition to from Jimmy Carter to Ronald Reagan in that 1980, 1981 timeframe with the election and the swearing in of Ronald Reagan. Interest rates were at 18%. I mean, oh my God, 18%. Fast forward a few years, in 1987, we had what was called Black Monday. It was the worst day in the stock market, a single day in the stock market. Stock market fell like 22 or 23% in one day, causing a little bit of economic turmoil, obviously. And then we followed that up with the early 90s and the Japanese bubble crashing. And again, we saw that mortgages were in that like 7 to 10, 8 to 10% range. And it was just one of those things where really high mortgage rates and the economy was pushed into yet another recession. Fast forward to the end of the 90s and early 2000s, we had the tech run up and crash. The Dow went down significantly, but more importantly, the tech stocks, which were driving that big run up, had gone up 800% in the 90s. The NASDAQ had gone 800%. And from 2000 to 2002, the NASDAQ fell 78%, giving back almost all of those gains in just a short period of time. Again, we saw that recession that followed that thing was followed by a housing boom in the beginning of the 2000s. With that housing boom, we saw things go ramp up. And again, we all kind of know what happened in 2007, 2008 with the mortgage-backed securities crash that happened and caused the great, quote unquote, Great Recession, that lasted until approximately 2012-13, when we started to see the real rebound of the economy and the real estate market. But the most important thing with all of these trends and situations and crashes and recessions and all of it, is that for the most part, you can track in a pretty straight line, as you can see by this graph. Housing is such a safe investment. Housing goes up. That's end of period. Like, there has never been a time, as you can see by this chart, in 1970, 80, 90, 2000, 2010, 2020, and then to today, there's never been a time where the market has actually dropped over a long period of time. Housing is a long-term investment. Housing is a very safe investment. Housing is a hedge against inflation. Housing is a hedge against the volatility of the market. Housing is a great investment. If you are thinking about buying or selling right now as a buyer, you have so much more leverage in the marketplace. There's so many buyers that have just kind of stepped aside. So you have an opportunity to get in there as a buyer and go to the sellers that they're looking at, like they're concerned about selling because there's so little competition. You have an opportunity to do something that we haven't seen for buyers in years, where you actually have some leverage and you're not having a mad rush of other buyers that are behind you. So if you're thinking about buying, and that's been one of your goals for years, and you think you've missed the market, you really haven't. You just need to get into the market, and let's talk about it, and let's figure out a way to make your dream of owning a home come true. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.